Okay, MegaWhale team, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin again. We have done a lot of videos on Bitcoin in the past, but today is going to be a bit of a different one where we walk you through the technical analysis step by step. It's going to be a little bit of a longer video. We're going to try to cover a lot of stuff. So try to stay tuned. It's going to be a little bit more complicated because we do have a lot of different point of views. We're going to cover today both bearish and bullish on the macro and the short term. But if you've got any questions, as always, leave them in the comments below. Remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a video. Turn the notifications on. Head over to our Twitter. Join in the community there. We got a lot of discussions going on. And of course, link in the description to our free Telegram channel. We'd love to have you over there as well. Anyway, with that being said, let's get straight into the video. So what we're seeing here is a macro channel for Bitcoin. We've had this little bit of a rising wedge on Bitcoin, which is a inherently bearish pattern. Doesn't often break to the upside, and we have seen in the recent days a breakdown to that downside. And more critically, I'd like to point out one of the most important or critical things we've seen is this retest and rejection of that trend line. Now guys, this is a really bearish thing. This is not what we wanted to see, and we did actually do a previous video on Bitcoin a few days ago saying that 51,000 to 52,000 zone, that resistance zone, which we will map out in a second, is a strong resistance zone, and there really wasn't enough momentum or buying pressure to push us up. And I'd said on the video, it's very obvious we're going to come back down and retest. I think it was about 46,000 was our target for that next support zone. And if we go much lower, we'll be retesting 44 to 45,000. And obviously in a bear market from there on out, we do have a little bit of support at 45,500. I would say this is the last line of support before we crash and tumble back down to 40,000. So let's get stuck into it. Let's map out our support and resistance zones. We're going to start the long term, the macro scale, then we're going to break it down to the smaller time frames, and then we're going to tell you what we think is going to happen. So obviously on our macro time frame, we do have a lot of resistance, being that major resistance around 52,000. Now this in fact is more of a resistance zone, and I've been telling my followers, I've been telling you guys on Twitter and basically all our YouTube videos, that this zone here, I'm going to shade it in, so we'll zoom out a little bit, that 51,000, particularly 52,000 to 53,000 zone, this yellow zone here, is the critical zone. And I do have an alert here, you can see, I'm just going to remove that. Is the critical zone we need to get above if we want to continue, basically continue upwards and reach these new highs and restart this bullish move for the crypto market, particularly Bitcoin. We have seen a breakdown more recently and a retest, which is not a great thing. We'll be honest, it's not a great thing. If we did a measured move, we'd not be looking too healthy right now. A measured move would bring us all the way down to 30,000. And if you remember my video with Wolves of Crypto a few weeks ago, we said our prediction for the bear market, if we went into it, we're not going to cover that today, but I'm just going to briefly remind you, will be 25,000 to 30,000 when the price touches a 200 week moving average. All right, 200 moving average on the weekly, 200 moving average on the weekly chart. That would be around 25,000 to 30,000. All right, this measured move reinforces that as a potential, and we do have a inverted head and shoulder pattern slightly forming. I know that's been talked a lot about in the crypto community lately, but all hope is definitely not lost. All hope is definitely not lost. We have some cool stuff on the smaller time frame, pointing towards a possible reversal, and altcoins are definitely holding surprisingly well and doing surprisingly well in comparison to what we've seen on Bitcoin. We would have thought that this drop here would have been catastrophic for altcoins, but surprisingly they've held their ground, and some have actually even moved up. So that's for another video, but I definitely wouldn't be overly bearish. I'm definitely not bullish though. I've said this before. I'm out of the market until we break 53,000. I'm taking small trades with a very small percentage of my portfolio. Other than that, I'm going to be patient and waiting. Now is not the time to be investing heavy. Definitely not the time to be investing heavy. All right, so that's our major resistance zone we need to break. We do have a major support zone. I need to get my crosshair out for that one. our major support zone we have been kind of like bouncing around in and testing is located between about 46,500 and 45,500. It's not perfectly accurate, it's kind of hard on the large time frames, but around about that price. So about 46,500 to 45,500, and I think I mentioned that earlier, 45,500 being that critical zone to hold. And this is our critical support. So as you can see, we're in this chop zone here where we're bouncing up and down between our critical resistance and critical support on that large time frame as well as on that smaller time frame, and whichever way we break will determine the direction we continue. And we don't have a lot of time left. We can't just continue sideways for months, you know, like we have to make a definitive move in a certain direction relatively soon. And we've had this double bottom recently, which we're going to come onto the smaller time frame and talk about. We've had this double bottom with a bit of bullish divergence, which has shot us up at that 200 moving average. Let's just change this one to our normal colors. Our 200 moving average is still acting as resistance. Still acting as resistance to the price. We can see we wicked up. That was yesterday, the 1st of January. We couldn't close above. There wasn't enough volume. Wasn't enough buying pressure, and now we've come on back down. Let's take a look at, so even our altcoins are starting to drop off a little bit now. Yeah, so this is our small time frame here on Bitcoin. We can see we've had this is a 15-minute chart. This is, let me go back to our large time frame for a second. This is this recent move here. So let me just show you. This move here is what we're looking at on the small time frame, all right? We did have that breakout. We see we've found resistance, we broke out, and what we're looking for here is we're looking for a retest of this support line now. But this is now our support, a retest of our support and a continuation upwards. This will be bullish. If that happens, our target is between 51,000 and 52,000. That would bring a lot of hope in the market. All right, we break that 200. Remember, we break that 200 on 200 moving average on the daily chart. All right, which would be pretty bullish. All right, we'd probably be able to close above it, and we'd be pushing up and hopefully retesting this trend line somewhere between $51,000 and $52,000. All right, so keeping an eye on the short time frame here to see what happens. If we take a look at the short time frame, I'm going to go back to our other chart. It's a little bit neater, this one. And we head on down to a 1 hour chart. Actually, let's go 4 hour chart. We can see that we've had a lot of support in this zone, but if we bring up the RSI, more recently we've had a bit of bullish divergence. So here is our bullish divergence on the RSI and on the price, which indicates a push high, a push upwards. And we did see a small move upwards, but like I said, we haven't been able to really make a higher high or have enough momentum or buying volume to come through and push that price even higher. We've seen we did break out. We were able to break out that trend, that downtrend, and now we're struggling to stay above it. Now we do need to stay above it to push higher. So that's what we're looking for here. If we do drop below 55,400, well, there really isn't much support going lower. The next major support we'd be looking at would be around 40,000. All right, so 40,000 will be a major support, and then below that, obviously 30,000, and that's bear market. So we're in a rock and a hard place right now. Bitcoin is in a rock and a hard place. We're between a critical resistance, critical support, and we're ranging sideways in a overall downtrend. If we go back to our daily, we are in an overall downtrend. The 200-day moving average acting as resistance, and overall, it's not looking great. Even look at this we're looking at Bitcoin live. We're crashing right now. See, we're dropping down. This is quick. In the last like 5 minutes of this video, we've already dropped down 1%, and we're coming down and we're testing. And we're going to see if we can hold. Let's see if we can hold. We're coming down, we're testing it, we're bouncing, there's some large spikes going on. It'd be really nice to see Bitcoin print a green candle, get back over this 50 SMA, get back over 47,500, and that'd be bullish, and we continue upwards. But we look at altcoins, even OMG, a trade that we posted on the VIP channel yesterday, we got in around 59 cents. $5.90 should I say. We're up a few percent, but look at this. Even altcoins now, we're tanking. We're tanking a little bit here, 1.3% in the last few minutes. So yeah, guys, that's what we're looking out for today. Really, you know, there's a lot to go over, but I wanted to keep it nice and simple and just show you guys basically those two zones that we're looking at, which is that support zone and that resistance zone. These are the most important zones for Bitcoin right now. I've done a few videos on it before. I just wanted to show you one more time with the recent price action that this was our breakout here. We had a strong chance at moving upwards here and re-entering that wedge. We got rejected, which is incredibly bearish. We got rejected. We've been shot back down underneath that 200-day moving average. We pushed up. We touched the 200-day moving average of that bullish divergence. We weren't able to break above. We now closed below, and now we're pushing back down. Are we able to hold this support range? That's the question. Looking at the technicals, looking at the macro, it would suggest no. It would suggest that we're going to continue downwards. All right. If we continue downwards, obviously we got that inverted head and shoulder pattern. Let me quickly map that one out. That inverted head and shoulder pattern, or something around about like that. All right, and that would send us down to 30,000. So that's what you can expect, guys. Again, remain cautious until we break 53,000 and get back into this channel. If we get back into this channel, even close a singular daily candle, that's all we need. We need to close a singular daily candle above that trend line, and we are all lights green. We're bullish, and obviously, if we close below 45,500, we are very much bearish and heading down. Okay, guys, I hope this video was helpful today. If you got any questions, remember, like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in the next